What's up, guys? In today's YouTube video, I'm not going to be playing a video game. I'm actually going to be doing a deep dive into Genesis 32:30 because there's a lot of debate around that. And essentially, for context, Jacob, who is later named Israel, says that he saw God face to face. But in Exodus 33:20, it says nobody can see God face to face and live. So obviously, there's a lot of debate around the contradiction in that. So Genesis 32:30 says, this is the NIV Bible, by the way. So Genesis 32:30 says, "So Jacob called the place Peniel, saying, 'It is because I saw God face to face, and yet my life was spared.'" So obviously, because of that verse in Exodus, people don't think he actually saw him face to face. So I'm probably going to look down a lot. That's because I actually wrote a script for this video, which I don't do because there's a lot I want to cover. But there's obviously a bunch of different interpretations about that verse. So some people think that he saw God in a way humans can handle, because people usually die, as it said in Exodus 33:20, after they see God because they can't handle him. So people think he saw him in like a way that's limited, or, as you know, God was in human form when Jesus walked the earth. So people think he could have seen him in a limited version, or some think it was an angel or a divine messenger. Because in Hosea 12:4, the verse refers back to Jacob's encounter with God. It says, "He struggled with the angel and overcame him. He wept and begged for his favor." So in ancient times, angels could actually speak for God. So people think he might have saw a messenger angel or something. But of course, since God was working through this angel, it would still technically be a real encounter with God if that's what he did see. But some people think that Jacob maybe saw God in like a spiritual way. It could be like a moment of truth for Jacob. It could be that he changed into a man of faith, because if you know anything about Jacob, he was born and grew up to be like a scheming man, a thief, just a bad person. So with that interpretation says that maybe he didn't actually see him face to face, like with his eyes. Maybe he just met him in his heart and decided to start being a Christian man. So after this encounter, Jacob is renamed Israel. By the way, I'm recording this after because I forgot to mention this while I was recording the main video. His name was changed from Jacob to Israel because Israel means struggle with God, and he struggled with God because he wasn't a man of faith. And then God came to him, and as they say, he wrestled with whoever it was, whether it was God or an angel or messenger. He wrestled with them or whatever, and then he became a man of faith. So he was struggling with God, and Israel means struggling with God. So that's why he changed his name to that. And technically, this verse where he's renamed comes before the verse where he says he meets God, but it did happen after. Because as you can see, you probably can't see it. I'm just going to read it again. He called the place Peniel because he saw God face to face, inferring that that's where he saw him, like in a past tense. So a lot of people actually think, and it is a misconception, that the Israel today, the country, is the Israel that they talk about in the Bible, and that the Jews and the people who live in Israel are God's chosen people. They're actually not, because the modern Jews and the Jews that were alive before Jesus came are two different people. So the earlier Jews that were alive before Jesus came, they followed the rules of the Old Testament and were waiting for a prophecy to be fulfilled. That prophecy was Jesus. So Jesus came and fulfilled all the new believers' prophecies that they had from the Old Testament. But the modern Jews are Jews who reject Jesus and didn't think he fulfilled the prophecy. So they think that they're still waiting for another Messiah that's not Jesus. But anyway, Israel, the country now, and Israel back in the biblical times are two different things. The Israel now was founded in 1948 after World War II because of the genocide of Jews during the Holocaust. So they thought they needed a safe place to be, obviously. So the governments of the world gave them a country in the Middle East and they just named it Israel. Two different things. The Israel they talk about in biblical times are Christians. That's where the Jews get the name God's chosen people. So modern Christians now are actually the fulfillment of Israel, because Israel is defined as God's chosen people later in the Bible. So actually, Christians today are technically God's chosen people because they are the fulfillment of Israel. The biblical Israel are the modern Christians who follow God because they are the fulfillment of Jesus' prophecy. They follow Jesus' prophecy, right? But the Jews of Israel, they're still waiting for somebody else. But back to the Jacob story in Genesis. Seeing God face to face might not have been an actual literal vision with his eyes. He could have, again, just being changed as a holy man. So like I said before, it could have been a moment of truth or something, and that he was changed from being a thief and a terrible person just to being a man of God from this one holy encounter. So that's the end of the video today, guys. I hope you liked it. There will be more videos like this soon, and more other videos soon. Thank you guys for watching.